Welcome to the Rock Newman Show.
It's the Rock Newman Show.
You know, you're talking about diversity, and we are one. And that brings me to two individuals. If I had a segment on this show that was called, Y'all Need to Shut the Hell Up, the two candidates this week would be Dr. Ben Carson, who just recently said the emergence of Obamacare is the worst thing that's happened to this country since slavery. One. The second one is a guy by the name of Daniel Snyder, who is the owner of Washington's professional football team, who this week wrote a pablum-puking letter to the Washington fans trying to defend the name of a racist, genocidal term that can't be by any reasonable minds thought of anything other than a slur. He tries to defend that. I know for a long time, Bernie, you've studied history. You studied black history. You are an expert on all things Washington, D.C. I'd like to have you to weigh in on that.
Well, you know, the Washington Redskins, excuse me, I said the R word. I don't say the R word.
Me either. There you go.
Thank you. The Washington R word, the Washington Football Club, has been around for 81 years. And guess what? In that 81 years, they were the last football team to integrate. And it was Bobby Mitchell that they finally had to bring on because Bobby was so good. They were the last team to integrate. You know, they have never had a track record in this city of being a community team. They never have. But more importantly, to your point, the R word comes from the 1830s and 1870s when it started with President Andrew Jackson, who was going to clear the West of Native Americans in order to put the Iron Horse, our march to the West Coast, our march to California, our march to take over the entire West. And if it meant removing millions of Indians, if it meant killing the Choctaw, if it meant the Trail of Tears for the Cherokee, 18,000 Cherokees were removed from Georgia in the 1870s. Only 50% of them survived past the Mississippi River. That's called Indian removal. That's called, and then what happens?
It's called Indian removal, and it's genocide.
And it was genocide, what the Army was able to do, what the United States government did, was paid $10 per redskin. You kill an Indian if he or
Folks, those of you that think that this term is innocuous and it's no big thing, listen to this explanation, please.
If the native, and where did they put the railroad train to the West Coast? They put it in these areas that had rivers, and those were organized Indian towns. If the Indians didn't move, they were killed. If they were killed, you bring back a scalp of a Native American, you get $10 per redskin.
There's a couple of arteries that run through major sections of Maryland that bring you into Washington, D.C. Indian Head Highway. 1 mile from where I grew up, Old Indian Head Road. How do you think those roads and those passageways got their names? Because that's where the government came to pick up those scalps after the natives had been slaughtered. And you tell me that it's okay to use it? It's not, Dan Snyder. You're practicing racism, you're practicing bigotry, and when you practice racism and bigot, it makes you a racist and a bigot. We'll be back on the Rock Newman Show in just a few moments.
That's right.
It's the Rock Newman Show.